Hello everyone. It's a beautiful day. I'm just back from the gym. Hope you're getting some exercise into your life. Don't mind this mess. I'll clear this up later. Ronnie on YouTube here, and we are talking about raw vegan stuff in this channel, vegan diets, plant-based diets. Someone asked me, am I a raw vegan? Yeah, I'm 100% raw vegan. 100% raw. No cooked food passes this mouth, so that's where I'm at. Vegetable Police did a video recently. So Vegetable Police, for any of you who don't know, he was a YouTuber that was a vegan and was doing a lot of experimenting with fasting, juice fasting, raw food. I think he did I think he did a fruitarian diet firstly. And then he was doing all sorts of things. He was doing like high fat raw diets, like keto vegan diet. He was doing all sorts of things. But he got to a point where he felt like he was still not healing some digestive issues and decided to try the carnivore diet. And when he did that, he experienced like his digestive issue sort of disappeared. So it was maybe related to the fibres or whatever it was in the plant foods, and who knows exactly what was happening there. But so he was doing that for quite a while, and recently he has come out to say that I think he's gone back to a vegan diet. I think he's basically went back to a vegan diet. And the reason that he did that is because he did a blood test, and you can check these videos out on his channel. He did a blood test, and the blood test showed what people like me, Mark Hasse, I don't know, Dr. Michael Greger, whoever, all of these people would predict about a carnivore or a high meat diet. We all know this is going to happen. I get that some of you that do the carnivore diet are new to this. I understand that you've all of a sudden woken up, you're trying to do something about your health. I get that, and welcome. But there are levels to this, and you've fallen for something that's a particularly bad version of a healthy diet. And we knew what was going to happen to Vegetable Police. We knew exactly what was going to happen. When you eat a high meat diet, your kidneys become damaged within 1 year, if not 2 years. Kind of will depend, but your kidneys will show damage within that kind of a time scale. This has been shown in studies and things, maybe not a lot of studies, but it has been seen in some of the studies done on Atkins diet and low carb diets. And other parts of your blood work might look good, and many parts of his blood work I think looked quite good or were normal. But he said his creatinine levels were high or something, and that's a sign that your kidneys aren't functioning properly. Why would this happen? It's because no one has a problem with too little protein. It's very hard to have a diet of too little protein when you're eating whole foods on any diet. The problem, most people have a problem with too much protein. That is far more of a problem for almost everyone out there. Too much protein, taxing on the kidneys, because the kidneys have to, process everything. So high protein diets are taxing on the kidneys, but a super high protein, I don't even know if it would really be a high protein diet, but a super high fat diet, fat and animal protein diet, with no fruits and vegetables, with no carbohydrates, super bad for the kidneys. So he was seeing damage within a year. And for all you guys out there, what are they called? It's just some of the people that are trying. It's like Elise, And who else? What's that guy? Can't remember some of the names now. Some of these carnivore people. And they're doing interviews with people, and they're Ferrage and all these guys, and gee, I can't remember some of the names. They're talking about all this stuff. They're showing all these ex-vegans going to carnivore. And the funny thing is, without doubt, all of these people will do one of two things, and some of them are already doing it. Which is, one, they will go back to a vegan diet, because similar to vegetable police, they'll realise that damaging your kidneys isn't worth it. Like, really not worth it. Like, the fact that you had a little bit of a digestive issue, probably caused by the fact that you were brought up in a bad diet, and it's a bit uncomfortable to eat vegan cooked foods, is not as much of a problem as, like, your kidney's not working. Like, your kidney's not working is major problem. So it's just crazy to me. We all knew this was going to happen. Did we not say this? Have we not said this in videos? Your kidneys will get damaged. You know, but they'll either go back to a vegan diet, or they will go back to the standard diet, which means they won't exist entirely on meat. They will eat meat, but they will stop doing, like, living on steak, which is not a great idea, right? Living on steak. It's a food that has been classified as carcinogenic. It's a food that's related to heart disease. It's related to diabetes. It actually, doesn't it spike your blood sugar more than almost anything? Like, obviously it fills your bloodstream with saturated fat. No carbohydrate, like, no antioxidants, a poor source of vitamins. Like, it's not a good food. So what they'll probably do is go back to a standard diet, which is they will have meat in their diet, but their diet will be more plant-based. Standard diet is really a plant-based diet that most people eat. It's a plant-based, it's actually a vegetarian-based diet, and people eat meat maybe once a day, maybe twice a day. But there's some people that only eat meat once a day, or even they might go a day without it. So the standard diet is not necessarily as heavy in meat as we think it is, and a lot of the things that are meat, like a sausage or burgers, are, like, filled with other stuff. So it's not even, like, as much meat as you think. Whereas eating a steak is 100% meat. So there's a lot of people that eat the processed stuff out there that's, you know, got a lot of fillers in it and stuff that reduces the meat content, but a lot of processed stuff, and that actually is easier to eat for people. That's why they add these things to it, because trying to chew through meat and everything is difficult because we don't have the enzymes for that. But yeah, that's my prediction, that a lot of them will go back to a standard diet, and this will be like a gradual process where they will start to say, yeah, I'm experimenting with increasing the carbohydrate content of my diet, and adding in some, you know, antioxidant rich foods for the blah blah blah, and they'll just go back to the standard diet. They'll just go back to the diet that everyone's basically in the health movement is trying to get away from, because it doesn't work for people. It's predictably leading to heart disease and cancer and diabetes. So it's a poor diet, and then probably they'll go back to vegan as well. Oh, that's Drew Morg. That's the guy that was doing a lot of the interviews. Drew, and watch the video of him, like, what he eats a day: big steak, big milk, you know. And milk is a whole other problem. So some of these guys have milk, and once again, it's the insatiable desire for carbohydrate is why they go and get milk, because milk has lactose in it, which is a poor carbohydrate for us, but it is one, and they want that sweetness, and then they start getting honey. So a lot of them are starting to do honey, and this is just the transition. No one's going to stay on a meat diet, you know. Even that guy's Ferrage, and I thought, you know, in my mind I go, no one's really doing that diet, right? No one's really doing that diet. The body is just calling out for carbohydrates too much all the time for them to actually do it. But I see this guy's Ferrage, I think, well, he's really extreme, kind of a psychopath, stabbed people in school and all that stuff. So maybe he's doing it. And then see a video of him in California, once again him eating, and he was public about this, and they're giving him fruit and he's eating all this durian. He's like, oh yeah, this is really good. And then he goes and picks oranges, and he makes this big thing of orange juice. I'm like, none of these guys are doing this diet. Like they're all it's all made up, right? So but predictable kidney damage. Now they look good on the outside. Now, but there's a lot of people that look good on the outside that end up in hospital. You know, I don't know exactly what that dichotomy is, but there's people that look fine on the outside that keel over and die, because all it takes is for one part of your system to not work, and you can end up in hospital. Like your skin could be great, like your skin could be amazing. I don't know if kidney damage will show up in like your face or your hair or your nails, like, oh my god, my nails are so strong and my hair's fine and my bones are good. So I don't know if it would show up like that. It would probably show up with you being unable to pass urine or something like that. But you don't have to worry about the people in your life that are doing a carnivore thing and all that. You don't really have to worry, because they will predictably do one of those things. Go back to a vegan diet, and go back to a standard diet where they're eating more plant foods, carbohydrates. It's just inevitable, and we'll see that wave. All these ex-vegans changing their minds. So Vegetable Police is the first public one, maybe, and I think he's been attacked by some of the other people, like saying he didn't do it right and he didn't do whatever. I think he did it right. I mean, I think he got the result he wanted, but it has another negative effect. So that's the message of the day, and I wish that more people really took the information to heart, really learned it to heart, this stuff, and got away from the metaphysical, spiritual, we're all different, we all need a different thing, and we all, you know, have different needs, and some people are this and that, and get back to the information. And when we really study the diet, when we really study it, the raw vegan diet is very, very in line with even the standard recommendations. There's changes being made. You know, in Canada, they no longer have dairy on their healthy food plate. That's a massive change. And you've got to understand with dairy, don't want to go into this in too much detail, but with dairy it's a big political thing. It's to do with land, it's to do with farmers. It's like, what would these farmers do if there wasn't a market for dairy? What would they do if there wasn't? I mean, this is a funny thing. In America, I only learned about this recently, but there's a thing called government cheese, where poor people would get this stuff called government cheese, which was basically a way of subsidising, giving welfare to the farmers. So, which is kind of funny, you know, because I guess the dairy industry was so tied up, or there was so much supply there was so many farmers producing milk and cheese and dairy that there just wasn't enough demand for it. So they created the demand by making out that it was a healthy part of your diet and that everyone had to have dairy. So they did that years ago, and then there was so much supply again because the government, I think, basically guaranteed that they would buy all this dairy, and then so more and more farmers did it because it was guaranteed money. Again, I'm kind of guessing this is how it worked, but this is basically the thing. And there was massive dairy surpluses after the Second World War, so the government was buying them and then trying to get initiatives for more people to eat more dairy. It's like a terrible set of circumstances. And they didn't know how bad it was, but they do know now. Now all that stuff's going to have to be reversed. But yeah, government cheese. People were having this government cheese. It's crazy. And in the UK, there used to be milk in the schools. That was taken out by Thatcher in the 80s, where children used to all get milk at school. And she took it out, and there was outrage about it, actually. There was outrage. She was stealing milk from children. They probably just saw, at that time even, the health consequences and just said, this is not something we should be doing. And the fact that they're just, once again, it's a political thing. It's guaranteeing the farmers have an income, and that's, no one should be really guaranteed an income. We want to respect our farmers. They create all our food, but we want them to supply food that there is a demand for, and not create demand for unhealthy foods. So this is a whole different topic, I guess, for another video. But we'll go back to the thing, which is veggie police. He seems like a cool guy and all that, but it's always been a little bit, watching his videos, it's like, why is he doing this high fat raw vegan diet? This isn't gonna work. Why is he doing this? It's like, jump into the information, really understand it, really get this. 80-10-10 is a book that you should read, not once, not twice, but it should be studied. It is a great book. It does have nuggets. Maybe it's not complete. Maybe it doesn't have everything, but there is no book like 80-10-10. In the 50s or 40s or 60s or whatever. That's what was missing in the health movement. Was a book like that basically showed the whole thing. And it's funny because it's like basically a self-published book. It was never taken up by a big publishing company, as far as I'm aware, and it was kind of a phenomenon. I don't know how many copies it sold, but I think it's in the hundreds of thousands. So that is a book to study. But then you can just study nutrition. You can study nutrition textbooks. You can even download them for free, illegally I guess, but you can do it for free online. And look at what it says about carbohydrates. Go to your local library. Look at what it says about protein. Look at what it says about fat. Look at what it says about these things, and vitamins and all that stuff. It doesn't actually say you should eat lots of meat and you should eat lots of dairy. It doesn't say that stuff. So anyway, thank you for watching as ever. Thanks for the support. Any questions, leave them below. Any comments, and we'll see you in the next video.